Wix. They're both free. Use something simple that you can link to your Google business page. So put your picture on there, a nice little bio, what do you do, how can they contact you. But make sure to contact you is really easy to find. Don't have it like a number we can't see. You know, make sure that they really just want to get in and get out, okay? So make sure it's really easy to find.
What are those websites again?
Weebly, so weebly.com, and then Wix.com. Can you put that in the chat, Ash? And the thing, Weebly and Wix, and they're free. They do have paid versions, but you can just use it free. It's completely up to you. You want to link it to your Google business page too. So when people go on there, they can just go right to the website, or they can call you right from your Google business page. Okay?
The number one way.
Went over to Google Business, and that's what it looks like. This is really quick. Potential clients, nursing facilities, hospitals, schools, daycare centers that do background checks on their employees, law firms, especially if you can get like estate planning law firms. A lot of times they will have, you partner with them. Like I have a few law firms that I work with when they do like wills and power of attorneys for their clients. You come do their, notarize their signatures on their wills and their estate documents. Title and mortgage companies, of course, are a big one, okay? Also, you want to make sure general notary work that you set up different forms of payment. Credit card processing is a big one, and Cash App. So credit card processing, I always say Stripe or Square. No, not Stripe. Square or PayPal here. Because I don't know if Stripe still lets you do the manual. If you have it, I'm not 100% sure. I know Square and PayPal here, you can swipe their cards. They give you free card swipers, and then they just charge you a processing fee after each swipe. It's so important because no one has cash, right? Who has cash? See? Okay, but no one really has cash anymore, right? Everyone has cards. And I don't know, for some reason people just don't think, to tell you that I don't have cash. So just plan to run a card. But 9 times out of 10 now, when I'm meeting with people and they say, okay, can I give you, I tell them how much it is, can I give you my card? I say, yeah, you can do card or Cash App. They usually do Cash App. People love Cash App. There's also Venmo and Zelle. I have them, I don't use them nearly as much as I use Cash App. Okay? So Cash App and a credit card processor is super, 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 super important. Okay? So I really like those because you can charge, you can charge more for those. When I do those, I charge for time. Because the downside to it is someone can have court at 10 o'clock and not be actually heard till 11. So I charge by the half hour. So however long I'm going to be here, this is what my rate is. Okay? And I always bring a computer just in case, so it's not awkward. You guys aren't just sitting there staring at each other. It's kind of weird. Yes?
Do you have to stay for the proceeding?
No. As soon as you swear him in, the judge will say, okay, you're free to go. But as soon as you swear him in, you're done. That's it. So it could be quick, it could be 2 seconds, or it could be an hour. So just bring your computer so you have something to do.
There are 4.
Like I said, the 4 things on every notarization is the location, the date, the signature of the notary, and the seal. Some states do not require you to stamp every single time. Virginia, you absolutely do have to stamp.
Question.
Yes.
So there. Is your business as LLC? Is your business name on your business?
No, your name's on it. Because they're like, when they do it, they still run your background. It's you that has to be, vetted. Okay. Skip through that. And this is just what a sample acknowledgement looks like. I don't know, can you guys see? You can see that, right? So it's basically the state and the county that you did it in. And you make sure when you're doing these, you read it, because a lot of times we'll look at the documents and they're like, I don't know how this goes. More times than not, if you read it, you'll be able to tell whose name goes where. So the name before me, and then my name, a notary public. So before me, Vanessa Terry, a notary public, personally appeared, so came to me, is the signer. Okay? But sometimes it won't have your name. It'll just say the date before me personally appeared, and then their name. So just make sure you read it. And the number one thing, guys, people really get caught up on documents, that you'll never see every single kind of document. It is impossible. Okay? So don't try to memorize every single document. Read it. Okay? Read it and say, okay, does this make sense? Does it sound right? And if you absolutely cannot figure it out, ask them. They might know. And worst case scenario, Google it. So just put, if it's the title of the document on it, just Google it and see if it comes up and see how someone else filled it out. But just the best way to do it is to read it, okay? Last thing is, once you get your notary license, you're going to get a lot of spam. mail, email, mail. Be very mindful, guys. So there's a lot, I don't know, lately there's been a lot of memberships coming out of the woodworks to hire, I don't like naming companies. There's been a lot of memberships coming out, and okay, I got 10 minutes, okay. Anyway, there's been a lot of memberships coming out that you can pay for. Just keep in mind, if they're a new company, it's not that they're trying to scam you. It's that they want to break into the business, they want to get your business, but if it's not going to be a good return on investment, I wouldn't do it. Okay? So sometimes, especially if they're new, just check out the Facebook groups, or if you have a question, email me, I'll let you know. And see like the companies that have been around for a while. And if you're going to pay to be on a registry, do those. Just don't do all these new ones that's coming out of the woodworks. There's a lot. I just thought of a bunch of names in my head just now. But I don't name companies. Well, I'll name the good ones. Okay? Also, check out notary groups and forums. Just be mindful when you're going to Facebook groups and other groups like that everybody's not in your state and everybody doesn't know everything. They could be wrong. So some people hear a lot of information on there and they take it to be true. Just double check your information. Don't assume that everybody on Facebook is telling you the truth. Okay? But it is good to get information from them because you could be working with a company and they could be paying that person more. And then you're like, oh, hold on. So it works out in that way. For the most part, once you start working full time, you're always going to check in your mailbox. You take that check, you go to Notary Assist, you put, I got paid for this signing. All the companies pay at different times. Okay? There's no set schedule. They all pay at different times. If you're working for multiple companies, and I have over 90 companies that are in my Notary Assist now, there's no way I'm going to keep track of that, right? So what I do is I put my signing, the borrower's information, when I did it, how much was to get paid, the company who hired me. And what I do every Monday is I go in and I put who's 30 days late. Because I do only looking at 30. Because anyone that's 30 days late, wait a minute. That's what I do. If you're 30 days late, I'm going to send you an email first. I send a nice email. Hey, look for this payment. Just checking on it. Where is it? It's nice. And I always say it could be oversight on my part. I could have gotten a check and I forgot to put in my Notary Assist. So I always say it could be oversight on my behalf. But can you confirm payment information? 9 times out of 10, it was something that, oh, we forgot. But I'm telling you, if you do not do it, you will miss money. They're not gonna follow up with you. They're not. They're just not. I've done before and they said, oh, we had the wrong address. Or they said, oh, you got returned to us. Or it could be, oh, we started doing direct deposit. They're not, you didn't tell me? No. Okay. So it's like, it could be anything. Or it could be like, oh, we missed that one, sorry. It could be anything. You have to keep track of your money because they are not going to keep track of it for you. Okay? You will always have an email confirmation to go along with your closing. There's never a time you won't have an email confirmation because that's your contract with that signing company or that title company. Well, title companies don't always, well, yeah, no, they do. For the most part, or you send them an invoice. But signing companies always give you an email confirmation, and that's their confirmation, that's their contract between you two. So that's how they know that they owe you money. Well, that's how I know they owe me money. And, all right, let's get into here. So once you get that email's gonna, hey, stop that. That email is going to tell you everything that you need to know, and pause, about that closing. So it's going to tell you the borrower's name, the borrower's location. Don't mix up property location to signing address. So, okay, property address, signing address. The property could be in Chesterfield. You're going to sign at the McDonald's in Richmond. Okay? Always by that signing address, not the property address. Okay? So when you get that confirmation, you're going to call the borrower, introduce yourself, and say, hi, my name is Vanessa Terry. Is this James Brown? And then they're going to say, yes, it is. And, or they'll say, well, who is this? So I usually say, I'm doing your closing on the 15th. And they'll say, okay, awesome. I need to confirm the appointment with you. I have a meeting at this address at this time. They'll say yes. I say, okay, great. Be sure to have your ID. That's it, right? That's all you have to do to confirm the appointment. If you're doing an application, sometimes you have to collect documents from them. So you just say, has your loan officer already told you the documents that you're going to need to have when I come there. And they'll either say yes or no. If they say no, then you can tell them, okay, you need a mortgage statement, a copy of a utility bill.
And you have your docs, please ask, call your loan officer now. So you're not at the signing and they're like, what's this, why is this?
So one of two things. So she's asking, like, should you do you tell the borrower what to expect? And the client decides within 45 minutes. I can't go over loan docs with you. If you have questions, you need to call your officer now. That way when you get there, everything is good. So it's a yes or no kind of question. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't say you can't go over loan docs with them because a lot of times those signers are not getting copies of their docs before you get there. So they don't have time to go over it. They changed that. They like 2015 when they had to get a copy of their closing disclosure 3 days before they close. They're not doing that. Sorry, not everybody's doing it. So when you get there, that's the first time they're seeing that closing disclosure. So you don't want to do, I wouldn't do it because I don't want them to feel pressure to sign anything they don't feel comfortable doing. Now a lot of people, their interest rate, their refi, their interest rate is going to expire at certain times. So say today's their last day, it's going to expire, but they got closing costs they've never seen before. It's like, this is not what they told me, but I don't want them to feel pressure because I have to do this now because, you know what I mean? So I would like it to just stay open to where, even with me being open this way, my closing still only take me 15 to 30 minutes. It doesn't take me long to get through a closing. But that's because I've been doing it so long. And the more you do it, you'll see the questions, you'll know how to plan. You do get readers who just want to read every single word, and that's okay. Because it doesn't happen that often. And when it does happen, there's something you can do about it because they want to read before they sign. I just let them know. I don't want them to feel awkward. I don't want them to feel like I'm rushing them. And so I just say, take your time. I totally agree. You don't want, something you don't feel comfortable with. When I already know that they're going to read it anyway, at this point,
Right.
I'm going to be here. So I let them know, take your time, do what you got to do. And I just get on my phone and I say, if you have questions, let me know. And I'll just, because I don't want to stare at them and then it's all awkward. So I just play a game or something, we on Facebook. I don't want to feel the pressure, The number one thing I don't want people to find is don't feel comfortable. You'll start seeing in this business that not all bankers, or not all loan originators are up, on the up and up, and some of them are like kind of sharky and they do deceitful things, especially to the elderly. And you'll see that, and I've been on at closing where they really just lie. Like, you just do this just now? And then I'm not going to participate in that. So I never want them to feel pressured. I want you to feel like when you sign that 30 year, that you're good with that, right?
Well, that goes back to your comment about being mindful of what people put in Facebook, because I've heard people say, literally, they tell them, well, you got 3 days to count this. Let's just continue.
Yeah, don't do
Get it
that.
signed anyway.
Yeah, I don't do that. Now, when you get on the phone, if there's for some reason that, like say you're doing an evening closing or Saturday closing, the loan officer's not available, and you call the title company will most likely say that. They'll say, well, the loan officer's not there, I can't explain your loan terms, we don't deal with that part, but you do have a 3-day right to rescission. If you want to sign this document, you can cancel within 3 business days, or you cannot sign it. It's completely up to you. They always make sure you know it's your choice. This is your choice. You can sign it and cancel within 3 business days, and it's nothing not going to hurt you at all.